Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 82 of Direwolf20's Let's Play series. So I've got this awesome Ender UFO thing that I've built. It basically is a giant moving platform with all kinds of offensive and defensive setups. We've got the MFFS force field to restrict any Endermen from entering. Anyone who do enter into the force field will get summarily zapped by the force field destructive force and it'll kill them nice and quick. Then we've got the TNT launcher here, which will drop TNTs through a portal gun portal and open up as soon as it's ready. So it'll kind of drop the TNT into a portal and then boom, remotely destroying anything it touches. Of course, we've got the awesome laser system here that'll shoot lasers out and destroy the Enderman in front of it. And then finally, we've got the water assault system, which will basically create a giant pool of water right underneath the force fielded ship so that it'll pretty much let you do whatever you want. So it's a pretty nice system, and I'm pretty pleased with the way it turned out. So one more thing I wanted to be able to do with this nice ship is some TNT launching. So we've been able to knock out some regular old TNT, but I want to bump that up. I want to make nukes. Nukes, though, have changed just a little bit in terms of how you have to craft them. If we go into the overworld here, there we go. I should clean up my inventory, but I'll get to that in a minute. Alright, nukes, if we take a look right in here, have changed the recipe quite a bit, as a matter of fact. Holy cow, that is expensive. We're going to need to get ourselves, most importantly, re-enriched uranium cells. I mean, uranium blocks aren't too bad. We can refine some uranium and make some blocks, not a problem. We can also get the advanced machine block and advanced circuits easily enough. However, these re-enriched uranium cells, well, for that, we're going to need to get ourselves a breeder reactor. What that entails is basically building another nuclear reactor. Let's see. How's my nuke room doing? Hooray! Alright, right over here. I could probably just throw it right in this corner. That shouldn't be too bad. And maybe even separate these two with a nice wall. Because, to be honest with you, breeder reactors, dangerous. Painful and awful. They are a bit brutal, but I think, we'll be alright. We'll kind of enclose it as best we can. We'll see what we can come up with. So yeah, that's what I want to work on this episode. We've got our nuclear reactor here. We're able to charge up a bunch of cool stuff. Let's see, how's our, see, full of power, plenty of juice ready. And, as uranium cells deplete, we get depleted uranium cells. So I've got a bunch of those back in my base, somewhere in my applied energistic system of storage. Let's see here. There they are. We've got 44 near depleted uranium cells, which, as far as I can tell, is enough for 11 nukes. Perfect. And if I let this machine run here, my nuclear reactor, even though I don't have anywhere for the power to go, if I just let it run for a bit, well, yeah, I could get even a bit more. I could, if I wanted to, really, just pull some UU matter out. That might not be a terrible idea. There we go. Now our nuclear reactor is running again. And you can see my little friends in here doing their job, keeping everything cooled off with the LZH condensators. Excellent. So for now, why don't I work on putting together everything I need for the breeder reactor. Okay, it's a complex build, believe it or not. Yeah, nuclear reactor is complex. Definitely. These ones need to be kept as hot as possible. The hotter the reactor, the faster we'll be producing re-enriched uranium cells, and you know that that's going to be a good time. So for now, I'll be back in just a few minutes, ready to set this whole thing up. Let me just clean out my inventory. Alright guys, I'm creating a pattern encoder here. 8 of these copper ingots yields a dense copper plate, and this is of course going into my compressor. Perfect. So now I should be able to request copper plates by simply saying, hey, craft me, I don't know, 10 of these guys, please. Boom. And it should throw a bunch of stuff straight into here. There it is. Nice. So doing its job. Perfect. I think that'll work. Wonder if I can craft that many at a time. Oh, I guess it worked. Excellent. So, yeah, now we can easily make copper plates, which of course we're going to need a lot of. So I'm going to need I'm going to need 9 of these things, so I'm going to need 36 in the end. Holy cow, that's going to be a lot. All right, I guess we're going to need 26 more of these, huh? Yeah, probably, at least. Let's do 26, please. And I'll get to crafting this stuff off camera so that I can get to the interesting part about this build, which is how to make a breeder reactor once I've got, at least the basic components built together. Guess I might as well look into a nuclear reactor. I'm going to need an advanced circuit and a generator. Well, that shouldn't be a problem. All right, back in a few. All right, let's take a look. So I'm running over here, and I want to build this in as safe a way as possible because honestly, this thing is dangerous. So let's see, if I were to place something like here, might be just barely gonna fit. Let's see. Okay, now I made myself some extra glass and another door. Where'd my glass go? I must have left it in the Thaumcraft room. I'll be honest with you guys, half the reason I like traveling quickly is to make YouTube videos a little bit more entertaining. So you have to watch me walk everywhere all over the place. Looks like it's getting dark out, better close the door. Alright, so let's put some glass like so. I'm thinking I can keep this guy nice and well contained, just like so. Wow, it's so hard to see this stuff. Oh man, I need a wand. Good, I have one on me. Asino needs to make it so like when you're wearing the glasses, it's easier to see where the glass has been placed. That would be nice. Alright. Almost enough. I might need a little bit more of the stuff, but that's okay. I'll go make some real quick. I have enough stuff for it. That's a little too close. We're going to want to bump that out a little bit. Alright, let me get a little bit more glass, and then I'll be back, guys. Alright, this should be relatively safe and secure, I think. Unless I missed any glass anywhere. You know what? I probably could do with a piece right here. That'll probably do. Alright, that looks nice, right? Yeah. I don't think I have too much to worry about from that. So it's just a nice little divider in the center of the room that's going to help keep us safe just in case we have any problems. And to be honest with you, you should really be extra safe with breeder reactors because the whole point of them is to run them on the brink of explosion. I mean, the closer you get them to blowing up, the better. And how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to need a couple components. So why don't I start building what I need now? Alright, as you guys know, and we can check this out using the digital thermometer, that the melting point of this reactor is right around 8,500. And we've got a similar melting point over here. It's at 1360. The reason this one's a little bit higher is because we've got reactor plating in there. Alright, so reactor plating, and good, this thing ran out, so we have even more near depleted uranium cells. Ho ho ho, more nukes for me. In order to bump this up, we're going to have to add a bunch of this reactor plating. If you guys don't remember, one is it's really easy to make, you know, relatively, and two is it stacks, which makes it even nicer. Now, I, as usual, went ahead and checked out on the industrial craft forums and found myself a relatively nice reactor design for breeders. All right, so let's see. I'm just putting together exactly where this design is telling me to place these pieces here, okay? Now, this is going to allow my reactor to get up to 22,950 melting heat, all right? So that's not bad, really. I mean, that's huge. We can get this up to a really nice high temperature. Now, of course, there's higher ones if you want to spend more, okay? There's also hot heat capacity reactor plating. This stuff's a little bit more expensive. We're going to need, let's see, some more of these. So we're going to need 3. And 1 more of those advanced guys. Alright, just waiting for it to craft. Come on now. There we go. And that should mean that our copper is done as well. Perfect. Alright, now these guys, of course, more expensive in terms of copper, okay, but what it'll get you is even more heat resistance than the individual ones. But I'm only going to need 1 of these, and that's going into the top left corner of this area. And what I could probably do if I really wanted to, let's see. Up there. Cool. This allows me to have up to 24,650. Excellent. Alright. Oh, that does work on glass. Perfect. Alright. Heading back home. Alright. Now, we're going to need some other good stuff. We'll put this right here for now. Alright, just to save me the hassle of non-stackable components, I went ahead and set up all the stuff I need in here. So I should be able to get all the components I need, for the most part, just through this crafting interface. So for example, we're going to need a couple important modules and components here, just to make sure that everything behaves itself, alright? What I'm going to first craft myself are some heat exchangers, alright? I'm going to want about 5 of these, please. There we go. And that thing's going to craft up, and it's going to make all the dense copper plates I need and all that kind of stuff. And I'll come back when those are done, as well as some of the other things I'm going to need. All right, these guys are being placed in here like so. I'm going to need 1, 2, 3, and 4. And here we're going to need 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Just like that. Perfect. Okay. Next up, we're going to need, oh, I don't know, a bunch of these things right here. Heat. These guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There we go. I'll wait for those to craft. And while that's happening, I'm going to show you what's the most important part of this build, okay? This is going to be called the heat cell, okay? The heating cell requires a dense copper plate, a lava cell, and an electronic circuit. And I should probably go ahead and make this recipe as well. But what's important about this guy is that we'll heat up the reactor for us ahead of time. So we don't have to sit there and wait for the reactor to get up to temperature. We can manually force it up to temperature by inserting these heating cells, which is pretty awesome, really. So I'm going to need 24 dense copper plates and 24 electronic circuits, because in the end I'm going to need 24 total heating cells. Okay, so let's get those dense copper plates and electronic circuits. Man, I am really happy I have this auto crafting system, because this would have been a nuisance to make, let me tell you. And just down in my lava supply, pulling lava out of my tank. Beautiful. 24 of them. Perfect. How's my copper plates coming along? Oh, good, I've got 24 already. And electronic circuits? 24. See how easy that was? All thanks to the auto crafting system. And they stack, which is ideal. All right, and then finally we need those heat thingies that I made a minute ago. 11 I made. Remember, they don't stack, so you have to click them out. All right. Here's how this is going to work, all right? Now, I'm going to leave these heat exchangers in, but I'm going to take out the overclocked heat vents. We don't want heat vents in here at the moment. The reason being that heat vents are going to get rid of the heat in the reactor. So let's see what happens when I've got my little thermometer here, and I place in one heating cell. Oh, look, things are starting to heat up. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, we're up to 11 heat inside here. Not bad. 43. Getting heated up. I'll come back in a minute when this thing has kind of maxed itself out. There we go, 263. Now we're talking. Things are really starting to cook up. So the reactor heat exchangers are exchanging heat and doing their job. Pretty good job, too. Alright, so after a little bit of time has passed, we've started to build up a bit of heat. Now, as you guys know, the reactor heat exchangers will exchange heat between the reactor and themselves, kind of building up their own internal heat. So there's some heat in the heat exchangers and in the reactor itself. And you can see it kind of bouncing around here as the number fluctuates. Now, what will happen here is this will bring everything up to about 1,000 total heat with the one heating cell in there. Now, if I place a second heating cell in there, it'll bring it up to about 2,000 total heat. Now, this reactor can get about, I don't know, a little bit more than 24,000 total heat. So if we get about 1,000 heat per item, why do you think I picked 24 of these heating cells? That's right, we want to bump this guy up to 24,000 total internal heat. So by placing it in here, you can see we're quickly starting to build up heat now. This thing is going to bring the reactor right up to about 24,000. It shouldn't go anything over that. So we're going to be right at the melting point. If we get any much hotter, things are going to be bit of a problem here. So I'm going to close the door and give this thing a little bit of time to heat up. And in the meantime, while this thing is starting to heat, I'm going to go ahead and grab the near depleted uranium cells that came out of my other reactor and show you guys how to deal with them. So right now I've got 24 of these things. So what I'm going to need is just a bit of coal dust, okay? So we're going to need some coal dust. Craft, I don't know, 24. Begin. Okay, while that's getting pulverized in the pulverizer over here, excellent. We're going to need some more uranium cells. Do I have any of those? No, just near depleted. But I do have some refined uranium. I actually only need 3 of these guys. So let's get a cell. Alright, so I'm just going to turn these refined uraniums into uranium cells. I should have about 3 of these. Boom and boom. There we go, uranium cells. Perfect. Now let's talk about the near depleted uranium cells. Those guys, as you can tell, need to be combined with coal dust. So let's get the coal dust that I just started cooking up. Excellent. Now these do not stack, sadly. So we're only going to be able to get one of these at a time. There we go. Okay, cool. All right. I see what's happening here. So depleted uranium cell, or depleted isotope cell is actually what we're going to wind up with. So let's head back to our reactor here and see how the heat level's doing. Okay, yeah, we're getting somewhere now. We're up to about 6,000 heat. Not bad. All right, now there's a reason that I left the component heat vents out. They would be venting heat. Now I'm pretty sure these guys, especially with the overclocked heat vents, would overcome the heating cells, so we don't want to have these in. We want to make sure all the heat vents are out of the reactor before we go ahead and start letting it cool off. Oh yeah, we're starting to get a little bit of fire up there. Cool. Now there's something else I want to do. All right, now this thing is specifically designed to deal with depleted isotope cells. They actually have a damage bar, don't they? That might be a problem for me, but we're going to give it a try anyway. I'm going to pop into here. Let's see. Nope, don't have any of the stuff I need. All right, let's put some things away. I'll just hide my uranium cells here. I'm just going to need a bit of gold. And one of you. Some redstone. Probably a bunch of redstone. A couple pieces of iron. And we're going to need some rose red. I'm going to put this other stuff away too for the time being. I don't have any rose red. Well, I must have a rose. And a little bit of lapis. So down in here, I'm going to make a golden AND gate. For that, we're going to need some red wire. That stuff. And we're also going to need, oh, there was a bunch of rose red in here actually already. Cool. Well, let's get it out of there. Oh, yeah. Oh, we even have some blue wire. Okay, good. Then I'll need to make it. Perfect. For now, I'll just go ahead and make the golden chipset. And while that's cooking up, let's go see how my reactor's doing. Building up some heat, I hope. Oh yeah, up to 10,000. That's a lot of heat. Don't worry, we shouldn't explode until we hit, 24,000 plus, and we only are going to get it up to 24,000 total. So, again, I hope we're all right here. I'll be back once we're done cooking up a golden AND gate. Alright, so the reason I wanted a gold gate is, as you guys may or may not be aware, gold gates can be a little bit more specific with regards to what they're looking to do. So I'm just going to place the gold gate on the side here, and I can detect items in inventory, or space in inventory, or inventory full, and what I can look for is a specific type of item. So I can say, hey, do you have any of these items in your inventory? Now, what I was hoping to do was actually just go ahead and say, hey, do you have any depleted isotope cells in your inventory? But I suspect, and we're going to have to wait and see what happens here, but I suspect it's going to take into account the damage value on the depleted isotope cell. And as soon as it gets a little bit of recharge going on, then we're going to wind up seeing a problem in that it'll stop detecting that it exists. But we're going to have to wait and see, long story short. So I've got all my stuff back. I'm going to need my golden AND gate. I'll come back for that thing probably. Let's see how I'm doing. Oh yeah, we're getting there. We're up to almost 20,000. Now here's where things start to get a little bit dangerous. Let's see what happens. Is this going to hurt? It's probably going to hurt. Once you break about the 20,000 hull heat level, you're going to start taking a bit of damage. Now it's probably not going to do too bad because I've got armor on. However, those of you who might not have power armor yet can go ahead and craft themselves some of the IC2 armor. So you can see how much it's hurt me already. Wow. And we're getting up to 21,000. All right, let's close this door and see if that helps. A little bit. Excellent. So, yeah, what are we looking at here? We're looking at the following items. We've got this stuff right here, the hazmat suit and the hazmat suit leggings. Remember, these guys protected me from lava earlier on in the series. They'll also protect you from nuclear radiation. But you also want to have your scuba helmet on, and you'll probably also want some rubber boots, these guys right here. Or no, not static boots, rubber boots. These guys. Yeah, rubber boots. They'll help you out, okay? So how are we doing? We're getting pretty close up to temp. There we go. We're hitting right around the 22,000 mark. Things are kind of still building up. Pretty crazy. Alright, let's close that door before I take any more radiation damage. Alright, I'll be back in just a moment because we're going to wait for this thing to heat up all the way to the 24,000. Then we're going to start putting all the components in there, and we should be in some pretty good shape. Alright, I think we've hit the topping out point for this. So we should be hovering right around 24,000. Now the heat exchangers will still exchange just a small amount of heat, so as long as you see the same two numbers bouncing back and forth, basically right in this case it's 24,129 and 24,057. As long as we see it kind of sticking around those two numbers, it means it's just trading a small amount of heat between the heat exchangers, but it's not building up anymore. So we've gotten this guy up to the very top of its heat level. Excellent. That's what I wanted to see. All right, now we're also going to want, see I'm already taking a little bit more damage. Good times, right? Let's go ahead and put our component heat vents in here. Now these guys are what's going to allow us to vent out a bit of heat. Now we are probably, the component heat vents will vent heat from any components that they're sitting next to. And, you know, the golden heat vents are the ones that are going to vent heat from any you know, from the reactor itself. So once I start putting these guys in here, we might start seeing some numbers change or drop. So if I just put like an overclocked heat vent right here, you'll see it start to take a bit of damage and we'll start to lose some of the heat inside the reactor. Not a big deal though. Just keep that in mind because you want to know that that's going to happen. All right. Now you can go ahead, of course, and take the overclocked heat vent out to stop that from happening. Okay. So let's go ahead and put our near depleted uranium cells in here, the isotope cells. Let's go ahead and put this like this. Now remember, you need a redstone signal for this thing to actually run and do anything. It'll build up heat without a redstone signal, which is nice, but make sure your redstone signal is off otherwise. So let's do that. And we'll just kind of drop these on the ground for now, okay? So we can kind of build these guys all around here. And right around here. You can only do about 12 at a time with this reactor design. So I've got a few extra, but that's no big deal. I'll put the rest in the chest. There we go. So basically, if you're not sure how this works, it's actually pretty easy. Basically, you want to have your near depleted isotope cells, or your depleted isotope cells, that is, surrounding, okay, the existing uranium cells. And what's going to happen is every time the reactor ticks, it's going to go ahead and recharge the depleted isotope cell just a little bit. The hotter the reactor it is, the more it'll charge it up. You get basically extra charge for more heat. Now, if you wanted to, you could fill this thing with a bunch of heat capacity reactor platings, which are much more expensive, and speed this process up even more. But I'm going with like a nice mediocre build. I didn't want to spend a ton of resources on this. Just want to give you guys a good overview of how it works. So the last component here is to go ahead and throw our overclocked heat vents and our component heat vents in, which will start cooling off the reactor a little bit, but that's okay. We're going to need that to compensate for the fact that the reactor is running as hot as it is. So let's just go ahead and throw all these guys in here, and that's good. Now we can see this happening. Nice. Let's go ahead and get this thing now. Cool. And I'm probably going to need my wand just for a moment. Now if we check the reactor of this thing, it's probably cooling down a little bit, so we want to kind of move fast. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and put my structure pipe on here. Now I do have the depleted isotope cell. So let's go ahead and say that when you detect items in inventory, depleted isotope cell, emit a redstone signal. Boom. That should turn on the reactor. And you can see that's because the uranium cell is on, and our depleted isotope cells are going to start doing its thing. Now, it's already shut itself off. Why? Because it's no longer got isotope cells in there. That's what I thought our problem might be. So, that kind of stinks. I'm saddened about that. So there's got to be a better way to deal with this. I don't know. I'm going to seal up the wall for now and probably just have a lever on there. So let's get ourselves a lever. And I'll come up with a more automated solution in a bit here. But we just got to get something that's going to ignore those NBT values. I think a regulator might do it, but we'll see. But for now, the lever's on, which means that the reactor is running. And we can see our depleted isotope cells are quickly doing their thing. They're absorbing all the uranium cells' energy. The uranium cells are, by the way, creating energy. So if you wanted to, you probably could and should hook up a bit of the power here. But I'm trying to keep this thing nice and safe, and I'm not too concerned about the amount of power I have. I mean, I've got plenty of the stuff, so I'm not going to hook it up. But if you wanted to, you could easily hook up some fiber cabling here and get yourself charged. So this is going to take as far as I understand, according to the things I read, like 20 minutes to run. So I'll come back in a little bit here and see the progress, and hopefully we'll start to see these charge bars start to increase, and once that happens, we'll know we're in good shape. And in the meantime, I'll try and come up with a good solution to figure out how to make this thing work. Yeah, just for the record, I went ahead and tried the regulator. No such luck trying to get that thing to detect that there's a depleted cell in there. See, once they start getting recharged, they no longer are the same as the empty one. So we'll figure something out. But for now, you can see it's already getting recharged a decent amount, actually. We should probably go ahead and put our lever back on there, though. What do you think? Probably not a bad idea. If we want this to actually keep running while I'm away. There we go. Now we're up and running again. Cool. Back in a few. So just a little bit more time has passed, and you can see we're getting kind of close to the halfway point. So we're getting there. Still working on some kind of solution to automate this. I haven't come up with anything just yet. Alright guys, I think I came up with a solution. Oh boy. It's a bit of a mess, but it'll work, I believe. Oh, where's my golden? There it is. Okay, good. I did bring it with me. Cool. We're going to go ahead and set this guy up to detect a certain conditional. It's going to check for items in inventory. And if it does find a specific item in an inventory, it's actually going to be the fully charged instead of the depleted. We're going to go ahead and emit a redstone signal. I'm asking for depleted now because I don't have any fully charged yet. But I'll get that in a minute. And then what I'm going to do is actually run another cobblestone structure pipe down here. But this is not actually going to be emitting the redstone signal for me. I want it to actually emit a red pipe signal, like so. Cool. And then down here we'll have an iron AND gate and say if you're getting a red pipe signal, emit a redstone signal. And then from here we're going to have this dude, and this dude. Cool. So that basically what's going to happen here is whenever we have a fully charged uranium cell, isotope cell in here, like once it's fully recharged, I just have to place the fully recharged one in here, it'll emit a red pipe signal, which will tell this guy to turn on its redstone signal, which will turn off the redstone signal going into the reactor. So it's automated. Boom. How's that? Excellent. So now we just got to wait for this thing to finish working the first time so that we can get a fully charged isotope cell. Then I can put it in the gate and that'll shut everything off. Good deal? I thought so. How's the heat doing? So you can see the heat has come down a little bit. No big deal though. Once I take the heat exchangers out and everything, it'll be fine. We'll do that once the depleted isotope cells are done. Or you know what? I bet, well, I don't know. We'll see. Figure out how it goes. Alright guys, looks like our reactor is about done. So you can see here that our depleted isotope cells, the damage value that NEI is showing us is getting pretty close to 0, and I suspect that once that hits 0, we're going to be complete with our isotope. Ta-da! Re-enriched uranium isotopes just got created. We've got a few more to do over here. There we go. Nice. Now, I'm going to go ahead and pull all those out of the inventory here, and I'm going to go ahead and also put them in this thing, so that it actually knows what to look for. So we're going to just put that right there, and it should start emitting a redstone signal if there is a re-enriched uranium isotope in it, which, as you can see, there is. Perfect. You know what I should actually do? I should have made this an OR gate. Yeah. Oh well. No big deal. I can fix this up real quick, actually. Okay, yeah, I think I have exactly 12 more in here. Perfect. Cool. So we'll let these depleted uranium isotope cells convert themselves into re-enriched uranium cells. Perfect. So you can see this thing is actually still stopped emitting a redstone signal, which means the reactor is allowed to run again. It's also still staying at a nice hot temperature. We had it up to 24,000 before, but again, if you take out your isotope cells and you stop the reactor, remember that heat machines will still run. So the heating cell will keep trying to apply heat, and the overclocked heat vents will continue to try and remove heat. So if we stop this reactor from running at a point, the heat vents will heat or cool this thing off faster than the heating cell will. So make sure to go back, get your depleted isotope cells that get turned into re-enriched uranium cells, and now, oh boy, we are in for a good treat. So there's two things you can do with this. Number one, you can go ahead and use your re-enriched uranium cells to make nukes, which is what we're after. Or you can go ahead and add some more coal dust to get yourself a uranium cell. That's right, so now you can use these uranium cells that you got to create even more energy. So you can bump these guys, of course, up to the 4 block of uranium cells. You can do whatever you want. So you're in pretty good shape here. Now, if you wanted to, you could actually also make the near depleted uranium cells by surrounding a refined uranium with 8 empty cells, and that'll get you 8 near depleted uranium cells. So you don't have to wait for a nuclear reactor to run to get your near depleted uranium cells. You can go ahead and just craft them up and then turn them into re-enriched uranium cells as quickly as you want. You just need to have a breeder reactor available and ready to make this happen. And again, the hotter it is, the faster it'll occur. So we got this done in about 20 minutes. You could get it even faster if you used heat capacity reactor platings, but we're not going to worry about that. For now, we're going to let these things run and maybe go craft a nuke. So, what's involved in making a nuke? Good question. Let's go ahead and make one. So we saw in here, nukes. Just require advanced machines, 2 advanced circuits, and some uranium blocks. Okay. 1 advanced machine, please. 2 advanced circuits. Make those for me real fast, would you, sir? Thank you so much. Boom. And then, of course, the uranium. Now, we're going to need, I don't know, a good bit of this stuff. 18 to be exact. And I'm going to go throw them in my compressor. And unfortunately, we are getting pretty close to the wrapping up point. So why don't we go ahead and craft this nuke now that we have it available to us. Remember, you just need to make it with 2 uranium blocks, which need 9 refined uranium each. Also, good decoration tool if you really wanted to be cool about it. There we go. All right, we've got a nuke. Our very first. Alright, we're off to the end. We're going to go try it out on our little gadget over here. Hey, how's it going, Enderman? Wow, there's a lot of you guys hanging out around here today, aren't there? Yes, there are. Yes, there are indeed. Alright, let's go ahead and, come up with a good place to drop this thing. I'm thinking right around here. That should be good. Now, before we go ahead and put a nuke in here, we want to be extra careful and test this. So remember, it's frequency 29. So let's turn on using our little gadget, which I should have in here, I think. There it is, the switch. And we just want to test frequency 29 one more time. So where's this thing? There we go, drop bomb. Alright, I hope this works. You guys ready? Cross your fingers, because this could get dangerous. We'll have to be very quick if we have any problems here. Let's do it. 3, 2, 1. Hooray! You can see the nuke in the distance there. Oh, and there's a bunch of Endermen standing around saying, hey, what's that nifty little gadget that somebody dropped for us? Maybe it's a present. Sorry, Enderman, no such luck. Oh, boy, did you see them all go? Oh, boy, yeah, that was a little bit of pain right there. I also got a little bit of hunger. Some radiation did seep through the force field there. Don't worry, though. That hunger could be resolved with a little bit of milk. For now, though, we did create a pretty awesome nuclear blast. Nice. Yeah, some serious damage went on here. Wow. Very cool. Oh, wow. And we actually affected all the Endermen with this hunger effect, too. I think they got a little bit of radiation poisoning. Alright guys, for now we do got to wrap up the episode. So, I think that is the finale of the UFO. You guys can go ahead and download the world. Just remember, if you want to move this thing, you have to remove this guy, the MFFS projector, and these things right here, the Ender liquid tanks. They will cause a little bit of a problem when they get moved on frames. This thing will actually prevent the frames from moving at all. But you're welcome to play with it in the next world download, which of course will be episode 90's world download. Alright, for now, Direwolf20 signing off. Hope you enjoyed the episode and learned a bit about breeder reactors. Alright guys, take it easy.